I was down at the Sundance Film Festival back in 2010, and I just had this thought come to me that, why don't we do a film festival here in Winnipeg? And so we started bringing in cool, clean, and compelling films. That's our motto for the kinds of films we bring in. And so we bring in feature films, documentaries, short films, and they're both made locally here in Winnipeg, also international films, some studio films that we bring in. And so we hope that people come in, get a chance to see films in a community environment, and we have talkbacks at the end of every film. So people have questions, or if people just like to sit and listen to the questions that are being spoken about, they can hear different people's takes on the film afterwards.
Mm-hmm. So why did you feel there was a need for this type of a film festival? You said you wanted to start a film festival. Mm-hmm. There are many film festivals. Why have you decided to follow this sort of theme?
Yeah, absolutely. I just had a real connection with my faith to have something that everybody could come to, where you knew that the film you're going to see was going to be a cool, clean, and compelling environment. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes the challenge, different film festivals have different bends to them, and this one here was one where whether you are a teenager, a kid, if you are a young married couple, or if you're a senior, that you have a place to come to where you can watch a film, not have your backup, you're guaranteed this is going to be good stuff, but it's also going to be cool and interesting.
So how do you come across these films? I mean, there's such a wide array. You must go through hundreds of films.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly, Michael. We start usually in about March. In fact, we're already programming for next year's film festival now. And it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of great films out there, but we're looking for films that can appeal to a very large and broad-based audience. And so it takes a long time to go through them, but once you've gone through them, we've got 38 films that are playing this year at the festival, you really know that you can hit on every single one, that people can walk into any film anytime and experience something really cool.
So where do the films come from? You said there's some are local. Give me some of the ideas of where some of the films are coming from.
Some come from Spain. Mm-hmm. We have also, one of the cool things, we have a film that was made in Churchill, Manitoba this year. So one's called Run the North. And it's a true story of a marathon that Albert Martin started. He's from Steinbach, and he goes up to Churchill, and people come from all over the world to run in the coldest marathon on the planet. Oh. And so it's a really, I know you like to exercise, but I used to run marathons, but I thought, wow, that's pretty cool to go up there. And what's neat is they do it to help bridge communities together in the area. So people come from Tuduli Lake and different areas, and they try and bring people together to form community. I thought that's an awesome idea. Mm-hmm. And then Andrew Wall, another Winnipegger, he made a film called The Last Objectors, and it's a story about the Mennonites during World War II who conscientiously objected to being part of World War II, but had alternative service to help in the war effort. And so he interviewed a number of the people who were still alive who commented about that. So it's a combination of both local Winnipeg people, but also some studio films, international films.
So the ones you mentioned are documentaries, correct?
Yes.
So there's documentaries, there are feature films, and short films.
Yes.
What else do you have there?
So in the short films category, we have two different ones. We have the very, very short films. We have short documentaries. And then in the feature film category, one of the films we're showing is called Queen of Katwa. Now, that played very briefly here in the theaters, but it's a true story of a Ugandan girl in a slum, and she has absolutely no hope in life. She's literally selling corn on the side of the street to try and make a living. But somebody takes an interest in her and shows her the game of chess. And she develops a love for chess, and she becomes an international chess champion.
I remember hearing about that one.
Queen of Katwa.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So those are the kinds of films we love to showcase that show, even if life doesn't seem to be working out too well, there's always hope.
Mm-hmm. I'm in the studio talking with Paul Boge. He is the program director, I guess you could say, of the Winnipeg Reel-to-Reel Film Festival. Cool, clean, and compelling films. Runs from this coming Tuesday, February 21st to February 26th. And they have a lot of amazing films. And the neat thing about your website, what is the website again? It is
WinnipegFilmFestival.com.
WinnipegFilmFestival.com. The neat thing about their website, and you want to check it out, if you can also link from our website, classic107.com, either way you get there. And you've got a lot of trailers on there. So to get an idea of what some of these films are about, they're all like a couple minutes long at least. And so I checked out some of the trailers, and it's a really great way to do it, to have... it's almost like a sample of the movie to get a sense of what they're about. Which ones, the one you mentioned, this
Queen of Katwa.
Queen of Katwa sounds great too. Any others that you're very excited about that you think will be unique to Winnipeg audiences?
One of the new ones that's coming into us is the show about Rachel Joy Scott. It's called I'm Not Ashamed. She was one of the girls in the Columbine incident. And so this is a film that actually explores her life before what happened at Columbine. And so it's cool because it investigates a girl's life, the struggles she's going through in life, how she tries to cope with those struggles, and then, of course, what happened at Columbine at the end. But it's one of those unique movies where you don't really hear about them very much. They don't make it into the big, broad circuit. They don't hit the big theater chains. But it's an excellent film that really delves into some of the pressures that teens are going through and how they try and overcome those.
Mm-hmm. So what are your requirements, say, for a film? You say cool, clean, and compelling. What is the cool part of it?
The cool part means that in some way, shape, or form, this has to be a film that a majority of people would say, this is an awesome film. Something that engages them, something that's not going to be too niche-oriented. It won't be like, something very, very in a small little niche category. It has to be a broader appeal. It's got to be something, so in the cool category, we try and say this is a film that anybody in general would look and say, that's a great story. It appeals to a broad group of people. When we talk about clean, we keep out, for example, we don't have any swearing, no suggestive scenes, and no gratuitous violence. So we try and keep those things pushed out, which is not always easy to do, but that's why it takes as long as we do to do it. And then compelling is, in some way, shape, or form, this has to inform our human journey. It's got to inform either our aspect, the way we look at life, other people, faith, and trying to investigate how can we be better people and how can we love our neighbors better by understanding the kinds of struggles they're going through.
So it's almost like going to like I don't want to say church because everybody has their own church they go to, whether it's a synagogue church or a mosque or something. But it sounds to me like almost that's what it's about. It's about going and keeping an open mind and about learning about humans, as you say, the human journey, which I think these days, it's always important, but I see it as these days, with a lot of things happening in the world, as almost being even more important now with a lot of the, I guess, I don't know what you'd call it, the anxiety and the animosity coming down with things happening, in the States.
The rift is getting bigger, right? And that's over the entire world. So whether we're in North America, Europe, Africa, you're seeing a rift in that. And part of that is people are making assumptions about other groups of people without actually knowing who they are. And some of these fears are really unfounded. So the question is, how do you try and engage people and at least have a dialogue about this to try and inform our understanding of what's happening with different people groups?
So how has this film festival grown since the beginning? I think, how many films did you have the first year you had it?
In the first year, we only had 3 theaters running. Now we have 5 theaters running, but we had 3 theaters and we had a gate attendance of 1,200. And so now in this last year, we had a gate of 4,000. So it's growing every year and mostly word of mouth and people who like it and they come to it. And it's the same time every year.
And you can get snacks and refreshments there and everything. So it's just like watching a movie. You come for the whole day. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's in the evening. But Saturday and Sunday, it's all day and all afternoon, all evening. And it's great because I love being at the film festival because I love hearing the little kids running around. And I love hearing in some of the more serious movies where you have some of the adults having deeper discussions about it. And then some of it's the fun, like, Peanuts and Star Wars are playing and that. There's like the more popcorn movies. So you got a kind of a flavor of all different kinds there. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I noticed that Star Wars is playing. How does that fit into the whole...
We try every year and pick at least one very big mainstream movie. The rest are more of the smaller studio movies or independent films.
Yeah.
We like picking one really big one because you do get very interesting discussions about how people view these massive, massive movies. So unless you're part of some kind of a film group or film discussion group, what do everybody think about Star Wars, and what are people's opinions about it? Because the vast majority of people like the movie, but what is interesting is people like the same movie for very different reasons. And it's fascinating to find out. So you presume that if I go to a movie and I like it, everybody likes it for the same reason I do. But when you sit in a discussion group, you hear why other people like the same film.
And you must have that with almost every film you do, especially, do you travel to find these movies? Do you go to like all those different festivals?
We do at certain times we travel, and then we do a ton of research online, and then we have a lot of screenings where distributors will give us films that we can see just privately by ourselves with online screenings to test the films out and to see if it's something we want to show.
You watch them beginning to end?
Totally.
I guess you have to, because you have to.
For this film festival, for the ones that actually make it to the film festival, I've seen every single movie front to end, absolutely. When we have the films that get submitted into the festival, we have an awesome team of jurors that review the films because there's just way too many to get there.
So what is your favorite snack while watching a movie?
For me, if it's at a theater, I love popcorn. That's my favorite.
With or without butter?
Without.
Without butter?
I'm
I
trying
can
to
tell by your I can tell by your figure there.
You're a slim guy too. So I try and do that. And then if I have the option of having food there as well, then I love having like a chili, or if I can do a salad while we're doing it. But it's too crunchy sometimes, so you got to eat it before. And so if I go to a theater...
But popcorn's not crunchy?
Well, yeah, it's right. You got to drink a lot of water with it too. How about you? What's your favorite?
I would have to be popcorn.
Okay.
I make it at home. Old style way.
On the stove with the kettle.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the stove. So yeah. Anyway, so you can get snacks there. That's great.
Everything.
Yeah, that's the Winnipeg Real to Real Film Festival. WinnipegFilmFestival.com is where you can find out more information and check out some of the trailers. It's a good way to get a sense of what all the movies are about. But you can't really go wrong. I was looking at them all, and they all look amazing. Really, really fantastic. And there's even a Steve Bell documentary.
Yeah, he's great.
I just noticed that on the back of this one. Love Steve Bell.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
I've been in conversation with Paul Boge, and great to have him back in the studio talking about this Winnipeg Real to Real Film Festival. It gets underway February 21st and runs till February 26th. In their 5th year and getting stronger every year. It's not only are the films great, but I love the whole sentiment behind it. It's all about doing better for our human race.
Thank you.
So thanks again for coming in, Paul.